Climate diplomacy and Bangladesh. Climate change is one of the most important challenges that humanity collectively faces in the 21st century. Bangladesh is one of the most vulnerable countries to climate change due to global warming. The government of Bangladesh has a major role to play in global climate diplomacy. Climate change is a change in average weather pattern over a long period of time. Climate change in the world can be caused by various activities. When temperature rises, many different changes can occur on Earth. It can result in more floods, droughts, intense rain, as well as more frequent and severe heat waves. As the changes frequently will occur in future decades, they will likely present challenges to our society and environment. In recent years, scientists have realized the need to limit planetary warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius in order to stop of the worst effects of climate change. A key goal of both of this leaders' summit on climate change and COP26 are to accelerate efforts that keep that 1.5 degree goal within reach. Climate diplomacy and Bangladesh. Bangladesh has made great strides involving all ministries and branches of government in tackling climate change at home. The fact that the 8th five-year plan, the Perspective Plan of 2041, and the Delta Plan 2100 have all included tackling climate change as major strategies is an example of this. At the same time, the Ministry of Finance has, for the last few years, included a climate change budget allocation for different ministries. In this year's climate change budget, over 20 ministries have been given a significant allocation of funds. However, when it comes to climate diplomacy at the international level, we are still, to a large extent, relying on this Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change (MO) EFCC, which leads its manual negotiation at the Conference of Parties (COPs) of the United Nations Framework Convention of Climate Change (UNFCCC) every year. Since the achievement of the Paris Agreement of Climate Change in 2015 at COP21, the need of climate diplomacy has become a daily necessity for all sectors of government. This need become more urgent in Bangladesh. Under Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is now the leader of this climate vulnerable from CBF countries. The first thing that is needed and indeed has been achieved is for the Prime Minister herself to take this issue of the climate diplomacy seriously and instruct her politicians and bureaucracy that everyone will have a role to play. We need to understand that to take into account that the COP, which only takes place once a year, is no longer the only place where climate diplomacy occurs. Indeed, every diplomat in Bangladesh embassies across the world now needs to make the climate change a core issue of bilateral discussion with last government. In diplomat countries, or advocates will be to encourage them to fulfill their pledges made in this Paris Agreement. And in diplomatic countries, our focus would be on exploring South-South collaboration on tackling climate change, where Bangladesh can share its knowledge and locally led adaptation LLA to climate change. Leaders Summit on Climate and Bangladesh. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina put forward more for suggestions to global leaders to fight climate change challenges with a strong collective response. Sheikh Hasina's suggestions include announcing an immediate and ambitious action plan to reduce carbon emission worldwide to keep the global temperature at 1.5 degrees Celsius and ensuring the annual target of 100 billion, which should be an balanced 50-50 between adaptation and mitigation with special attention to vulnerable countries. The other two suggestions are major economics, international financial industries, and private sectors should come forward with plan for constitutional climate financing and focusing on green economy and carbon natural technologies with a provision of technology transfer among nations. Leaders Summit on Climate. President Biden convened for the world leaders in virtual leaders summit on climate April 22 or 23 in talking the climate or crisis and meeting the demand of science. Many leaders underscore the urgency of other major economics straining that ambition as well as role of the United Nations Climate Change Conference COP26 in November 2021 in Glasgow. Written by MD Alauddin, presented by Awlad Hussain.